The Analects of Confucius, Lessons on Righteous Conduct. Welcome, dear listeners, to our spiritual exploration of The Analects of Confucius, Lessons on Righteous Conduct. As we walk through the ancient corridors of wisdom illuminated by Confucius, remember that his teachings are not merely historical relics. They are vibrant, living principles that can guide us in our daily lives. Let us begin by understanding the essence of these teachings and how they apply to our contemporary world. Confucius lived in an era not unlike our own, where the moral fabric of society seemed to unravel at the seams. In his pursuit of harmony and order, Confucius didn't simply prescribe a set of rules. He offered a vision of an interconnected society held together by the virtues of its individuals. Central to his philosophy is the concept of ren, often translated as benevolence or humaneness. Ren is the embodiment of empathy and compassion, an active concern for the welfare of others. It is the quality that, when cultivated, allows us to transcend narrow self-interest and embrace a broader commitment to the good of all. But how do we cultivate Ren within ourselves? It begins with small, everyday actions. It's the smile we offer to a stranger, the patience we show in the face of irritation, and the help we extend without seeking reward. These are the seeds of benevolence that, when sown, bloom into a life of righteousness. Moving forward, we encounter Li, the principle of proper conduct, ritual, and etiquette. Li teaches us that our actions, when carried out with respect and propriety, weave the fabric of a well-ordered society. It is not about empty formalism, but about recognizing the inherent value of social rituals to create harmony and respect. In our fast-paced world, where messages are typed with rapid thumbs and relationships often exist at the convenience of a screen, Li invites us to slow down and honor the human connection with mindful presence and decorum. Consider for a moment the last time you truly connected with someone. Was there a sense of respect and attentiveness in that interaction? Li encourages us to elevate our dealings with others to an art form, transforming the mundane into something meaningful. Confucius spoke of Yi, the uprightness of moral character, the righteousness that directs our actions according to ethical principles. Yi is the steadfast compass that guides us through the gray areas of life, helping us to discern right from wrong. It is an internal measure that remains unswayed by personal gain or loss. In a world brimming with complex ethical dilemmas, Yi serves as our guide to making choices that align with our deepest sense of integrity. Now, consider when you last faced a moral challenge. Did you choose convenience or righteousness? Yi does not promise an easy path, but it assures us of a clear conscience and the respect of our peers. Wisdom, or Zi, in the Analects, is not confined to intellectual acumen, but encompasses the practical application of our knowledge and experience for the betterment of ourselves and others. Zi is the light that cuts through ignorance and illuminates the path ahead. It is an active, living wisdom that thrives on curiosity and the relentless quest for understanding. Pause for a moment and reflect on the role of wisdom in your life. How do you integrate your knowledge into your daily decisions? Zi is not about accumulating facts, but about weaving them into the fabric of our existence to enrich our lives and the lives of others. Finally, Jin, the virtue of trustworthiness or faithfulness, is the cornerstone of personal integrity. It is the assurance that our words and actions are in alignment, that promises made will be promises kept. Zen builds the foundation of trust that is essential for strong, reliable relationships. In a world where commitments can be as fleeting as a digital notification, Sin calls us to be steadfast and dependable. Now, as we reach the close of this first segment, ask not what words you speak, but whether your actions affirm those words. Trustworthiness is not proclaimed. It is demonstrated through consistent, reliable behavior. Stay with us as we continue our exploration of Confucian wisdom and its application in our lives. Virtue as leadership, the Confucian vision of a morally guided society. In the second part of our exploration, we turn our gaze to the broader implications of Confucian teachings. Confucius envisioned a society ruled by virtue rather than force, a community where leaders exemplify the moral qualities they wish to see in their subjects. The idea is that righteousness, benevolence, and wisdom emanating from the top will naturally flow down and permeate the entire fabric of society. In our own lives, regardless of our status, we lead by example. The way we conduct ourselves, the values we demonstrate, the integrity we uphold, these are the lessons we impart to those around us. We are all leaders in some capacity, and we must ask whether we lead with virtue or with expedience. Leadership is a tapestry woven from threads of influence, each thread a decision, an action, a word that can guide others toward a path of virtue or veer them away. When we wield our influence, do we do so with a sense of responsibility? Our choices ripple out, impacting the world in ways both seen and unseen. The Analects urge leaders to be mindful of their influence and to cultivate a style of leadership that's anchored in moral excellence. It is also in this context that Confucius introduces the concept of Junzi, the noble or superior person. The Junzi is no aristocrat by birth, but rather by behavior. This individual is a paragon of virtue, embodying Ren, Li, Yi, Zi, and Xin. The Junzi does not seek to gain at the expense of others, but seeks to elevate those around them through moral example and wise counsel. In our own pursuit of personal development, we must ask whether we aspire to the virtues of the Junzi or whether we are content with lesser standards. Moreover, Confucius emphasizes the importance of education and self-cultivation. Knowledge and wisdom are not static. They require a lifetime of dedication and learning. Confucius himself was an exemplar of lifelong learning, continuously seeking to expand his understanding and deepen his wisdom. In our own lives, we must continue to learn, grow, and adapt. The world around us is in constant flux, and only through continuous self-improvement can we hope to navigate it with grace and wisdom. But self-cultivation is not an insular process. Confucius recognized the value of jiao, or filial piety, the respect and care for one's parents and ancestors. Xiao is the root of Ren, extending the circle of empathy from the self outwards to the family, and eventually to the wider community. By honoring our immediate bonds, we learn to respect and uphold the relationships that form the tapestry of society. In our interactions with family, do we reflect the values we claim to hold dear? Are we patient, kind, and respectful? The way we treat our closest relationships often mirrors how we treat those we encounter in the wider world. Furthermore, Confucius did not overlook the importance of zhong, or loyalty. Loyalty is not blind allegiance, but a commitment to the greater good, the ability to serve others with integrity even in challenging circumstances. It's a quality that binds communities and societies together, creating a web of mutual support and trust. As we pause here, I invite you to consider the role of loyalty in your life. To whom or what are you loyal, and does this loyalty serve the greater good or merely personal interests? Harmonious existence. embracing the Confucian ethos of balance in self, society, and the fluidity of righteousness. As we venture further into the wisdom of the Analects, we come to understand that Confucianism is not merely a set of ethical guidelines, but a comprehensive approach to living a harmonious life. Harmony, or he, is a central theme in Confucianism, reflecting the ideal state of balance within the self, in relationships, and in society at large. Harmony begins within. Are our thoughts, words, and deeds in alignment? Do we live authentically, or is there discordance between our inner and outer selves? He challenges us to align our internal moral compass with our external actions, creating a resonance that brings peace to both our lives and those touched by our presence. In our relationships, harmony requires an understanding of the doctrine of the mean, a principle that guides us to avoid extremes and seek the balance in all things. It is about finding the equitable path, the center where neither excess nor deficiency resides. In our interactions with others, do we strive for this balance, or do we swing between the extremes of overindulgence and neglect? The doctrine of the mean also informs our emotional world. Confucius advocates for the regulation of emotions, not their suppression. It is about experiencing our feelings fully while not allowing them to overthrow our better judgment. This emotional equilibrium ensures that our responses are measured, compassionate, and appropriate to the circumstances. In the societal context, harmony is achieved when each person fulfills their role with virtue and effectiveness. Like the different instruments in an orchestra, each individual contributes to the collective symphony of society. The Analects urge us to consider our role in this greater ensemble. Are we in tune with others, or do we play discordantly, heedless of the collective melody? Moreover, Confucius recognized the dynamic nature of society and the need for ethical adaptability. What does it mean to be righteous in a constantly changing world? It means having a moral framework that is both firm in its foundations and flexible in its application. It is about applying timeless principles to the unique challenges of the present moment. As we draw this segment to a close, reflect on the fluidity of your own ethical practice. Are you rigid in your righteousness, or do you adapt your moral understanding to the context of each new day? Cultivating virtue, fostering harmony, the enduring journey of Confucian ethics in personal and social flourishing. In the final part of our discourse on the Analects of Confucius, Lessons on Righteous Conduct, let us consider the ultimate aim of Confucian teaching, the cultivation of a virtuous character and the creation of a harmonious society. To achieve this, Confucius did not isolate moral cultivation from the practicalities of daily life. Rather, he integrated ethical practice into every aspect of living, from governing a state to tending to one's family and personal development. Within the framework of Confucian ethics, the individual is not merely an isolated entity, but a nexus of relationships. Each of these relationships, whether with family, friends, community, or state, requires a different set of responsibilities and virtues. The Confucian concept of Wu Lun describes the 5 cardinal relationships: ruler and subject, parent and child, husband and wife, elder and younger sibling, and friend. Each relationship is an opportunity to practice righteousness, respect, and reciprocity. In our own lives, we must ask how we fulfill our duties in each relationship. Are we attentive and respectful children, supportive and faithful partners, reliable and caring siblings, honest and kind friends? The practice of these virtues is not for the faint of heart. It requires discipline and commitment. Confucius teaches us that self-discipline, or ji, is the means by which we align our actions with our moral values. It is the voluntary restraint that refines our character and deepens our virtues. In the constant buzz of distractions that fill our lives, Z invites us to focus on what truly matters, to prioritize our spiritual and moral development over ephemeral pleasures. The disciplined life, according to Confucius, is also a reflective life. We are encouraged to engage in zhu, the pursuit of learning, not just as an academic exercise but as a means of self-transformation. Through learning, we encounter new ideas, challenge our preconceptions, and expand our understanding of ourselves and the world. Learning is not complete until it is enacted in our behavior, until the insights gained from books and teachers are lived out in the world. How often do we integrate the lessons we learn into our daily lives? Do we embody the wisdom we acquire, or does it remain trapped in the realm of theory? Furthermore, Confucianism places great emphasis on the cultivation of moral insight, or liang ji, the innate knowledge of right and wrong that exists within each person. This moral insight is like a seed that, when nurtured by learning and reflection, grows into a robust tree of wisdom. It guides us in making ethical choices and discerning the path of righteousness amidst the complexities of life. The Analects compel us to trust in our inner sense of morality, to listen to the voice of conscience that speaks when we are about to act. Are we attentive to this inner guide, or do we silence it with rationalizations and excuses? In the pursuit of righteousness, Confucius also recognizes the inevitability of mistakes. The wise are not those who never err, but those who are willing to correct their faults. The concept of zheng-ming, rectifying names, is about ensuring that our perceptions and words align with reality. When we make mistakes, do we have the humility to admit and rectify them? Do we take responsibility for our actions, or do we deflect and deny? As we conclude our exploration of the Analects of Confucius, Lessons on Righteous Conduct, it is crucial to recognize that the journey of moral cultivation is never complete. It is a lifelong endeavor that requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to grow. Confucian wisdom does not offer quick fixes or simple answers. It offers a path that is walked step by step, day by day, through the choices we make and the actions we take. The Analects encourage us not to be daunted by the magnitude of the task, but to find joy in the perpetual process of becoming. For in the end, it is not the destination that defines us, but the character we forge along the way. How will you carry forward the lessons of righteousness in your own life? How will you contribute to the harmony of your community and the world? The path is laid out before you, and each step is an act of creation, an opportunity to manifest the timeless wisdom of Confucius in the living, breathing present. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the Analects. May the virtues of Ren, Li, Yi, Ji, and Xin guide you, and may your journey be filled with learning, reflection, and growth.